our double here today at the Harvey Dryden Field. Starting for the Knights, in the circle for the Knights, number 16, Crystal Kemp. Behind the plate, number 2, Maddie Christensen. Playing first base, number 22, Katie Clater. At second base for the Knights, number 20, DeKel Jones. At third base, number 24, JC Shumway. The shortstop for the Knights, number 10, Addie Webster. In left field this afternoon, number 4, Kayla Autry. Playing center field, number 8, Ari Primack. And in right field this afternoon for the Knights, number 9, Emily Oldham. Leading off the inning for the Tornadoes, number 5, Beth Hyatt.
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you back to game number 2 of our doubleheader here in Buena Vista, Virginia at Harvey Dryden Field. It's your Knights versus Brevard College. In game number 1, the Knights came out on top with an 11-4 victory, thanks to 3 consecutive innings of 3 runs to start it, to make it 9-0. Brevard fought back in the later half of that game to make it 9-4, but then Southern Virginia extended their lead once again to 11-4. And here in game 2 for the Knights, in the circle is Crystal Kemp. She'll face Beth Hyatt of Brevard College, one of the better hitters for them on the year. That one's a grounder right to Crystal Kemp, and she'll feed it to first base of Katie Clater for the first out of game number 2.
Now at the plate, number 4, Carly Queen.
Carly Queen up to bat for Brevard College. And we've talked a lot about the role that Crystal Kemp plays on this team. She's part of that 2-headed monster in the circle for the Knights, along with Ariana Primack, that's gotten a lot of the load so far in the circle for the Knights this year. She played well in the second game with their doubleheader yesterday against 12th-ranked Pfeiffer, as Queen gets good contact, but that's grounded into the left of the infield for a foul. Count 0-2 for Crystal Kemp against Carly Queen, the sophomore from Mocksville, North Carolina. That one's a little outside, make the count 1-2. And again, the wind continues to pound us here in Buena Vista. Swinging is Carly Queen, and Crystal Kemp gets her first strikeout of the afternoon. 2 up, 2 down for Brevard College here in the top of the first inning of game number 2. Swinging yet again. That's Michaela Morgan, who homered last game for Brevard College to make it 3 home runs on the year for her. Kayla Morgan connects with that one, but a great play by Addie Webster, the first base, for 3 up, 3 down at the top of the first.
Starting in the fields this afternoon for the Tornadoes. In the circle, we have number 11, Grace Reynolds. Behind the plate, number 26, Serena Rogers. Playing first base, number
As both the
16,
Knights and the
Lauren
Tornadoes
Mann.
boasting
At
similar
second,
lineups to
number
the start of
13,
game 1.
Evelise Layton. At third, number 22, Gabby Hooper. The shortstop
As
for the
Brevard started at the
Tornadoes,
top of
number
the first with their
14,
2
Michaela
strongest
Morgan.
hitters on the year.
In left field, number 4, Carly
First,
Queen.
Beth Hyatt, number 5, and then
Playing
Michaela
center,
Martin, number
5,
14, the
Beth
senior.
Hyatt. And in the right field this afternoon, number 24,
Both
Jasmine
seniors
Webb.
and playing prominent roles in their teams this year. And mostly the same batting order for the Knights as Ariana Primack comes out to get things going again in game 2 for Southern Virginia. She'll be followed by JC Shumway, DeKella Jones, Crystal
Leading
Kemp,
off this
Addie
inning
Webster,
for the
Kraylin
Knights.
Guyman,
At the
Maddie
plate,
Christensen,
number 8,
Katie Clater,
Ari
Kayla Autry,
Reimer.
and Emily Oldham. And so, Nate, as we head into game 2, what are your expectations for how both these teams are going to fare in the second game?
Definitely going to see the Knights come out, pretty heavy. They want to continue that same kind of momentum they had in the first game, especially in the beginning with the heavy bats. They want to continue that. They don't want to let up. They don't want Brevard to, have any sort of chance of, coming into the second game and just kind of controlling the game. They have to control the game basically.
Absolutely, and Ari Primack comes out swinging, but it's a ground out at first.
Now
It'll be
batting
one
for
up,
the
one
Knights,
down
number
for Brevard
24,
College.
JC
And another thing to note is
Shumway.
Grace Reynolds, a sophomore from Troy, North Carolina, is in the circle. She's number 11 for the Tornadoes. As JC Shumway is coming up to the plate.
JC Shumway, by the way, excellent first game against Brevard. Let's see if she continues right here in this second game of this doubleheader.
That first pitch is a little low to make the count 1-0. And she connects well right down the left field line, but that's going to go just out for a foul ball to make the count 1-1. And just as you mentioned, Nate, a really strong showing in the first game from Shumway. Had a lot of solid connections, played really good defense at third base, and almost actually homered in the middle of that game, but it was just short of the fence. As some dust gets into her eyes, and she's gonna hold off from stepping into the box. Now she's back in. Continues to blow hard, throwing our roster sheets around towards the fence. As Grace Reynolds winds up. And a swing by JC Shumway. It's an easy out at first base. And that's 2 up, 2 down for the Tornadoes.
The Tornadoes have an out right here right now.
Batting number 20, DeKella Jones.
DeKella Jones up to bat.
DeKella Jones smoked a couple of shots to center field last game.
Yeah, she was nearly perfect in the first game.
As she'll let that one sail by for the first ball of the at-bat. Grace Reynolds of Brevard, the 4th pitcher the Tornadoes are using today. So they're certainly going deep into the dugout. Wind up, and again, DeKella Jones lets that sail by, but that's going to be a strike to make it 1-1.
solid pitching so far by Brevard coming out into the second game compared to the start of the first game. They're definitely a little bit more consistent. Definitely have settled in, and we'll see what else they can do to the Knights here.
Certainly. And DeKel swings again, gets a little bit on that, running to first, and she's going to be out there. Great play by number 16, Lauren Mann, to feed it on an underhand scoop to first base. That's going to be 3 up, 3 down. And just as you said, Nate, a much better start to this game for the Tornadoes. Whereas in the first game, they allowed 3 consecutive doubles, which led to a rout of 9 runs in the first 3 innings for the Knights in game number 1. So certainly a better start.
And you also notice their SVU is kind of mixing up the lineup this second game. They have a good mix of some juniors and seniors, but you got number 5. Chloe Cochran. Looks like she's in, and Kayla Autry. So it looks like you're getting a good mix. Emily Oldham also at center field. Looks like they're definitely mixing it up a little bit here.
Now batting
Crystal
number
Kemp will
33,
return to the circle
Olivia
for the start of the second
Martinez.
inning. A solid start to the second game for her. 2 strikeouts in the previous inning. And that brings Olivia Martinez up to the plate for the Tornadoes. Good connection. That sky's up. DeKel Jones is on it, and she'll make the catch right at first base for the easy outs. And so through 1 inning and 1 batter, it's 7 up, 7 down combined for both teams.
Now batting number 16,
So it's
Lauren
actually
Mann.
Yeah, Ariane Prynack at center field, and then Kayla Autry in left field. Emily Oldham taking her typical post in the outfield as well. It's another good looking strike for Crystal Kemp. Lauren Mann, number 16, the sophomore for the Tornadoes, is at the plate still. The count 0-2 as Crystal Kemp is really bringing the heat early on in game number 2. Another strong windup that's going to be high to the left for the first ball of the at-bat, make it 1-2. During the break, Nate, we talked about, or we questioned whether Southern Virginia would come back with their typical starters or go with the team that wrapped up game number 1 with them. It looks like they've gone back to their typical starters, trying to have another strong start and possibly give that second team another opportunity to wrap up game number 2 later on.
Definitely.
Good connection by Lauren Mann. That's going to float to the left, just on the roof of the dugout. Shumway looking for the out at third.
Yeah, JC Shumway hoping that one would curve in. Hopefully the wind would help her out a little bit, just it's not this time.
Mann returns to the plate. That's going to be 2-2 the count. 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Another swing and another foul ball. Still 2-2 the count. There's Lauren Mann. She did manage to score last game. Part of that 4-run, I think it was 5th or 6th inning for the Tornadoes. So despite the loss in the first game, she has seen some success running the bases. Another foul ball.
Yeah, so this fight is going to continue. Still 2-2 count. So Interesting to see what Crystal Kemp can cook up right here. See if she can maybe get her to swing on an outside pitch.
There's a swing and a miss. And the third strikeout of the game for Crystal Kemp already.
Now at the plate, number 26,
Facing
Serena Rogers.
4 or 5 really strong batters from Brevard. And shutting the door so far. And that's going to bring in Rogers Lucky, the senior from Inman, South Carolina, back to the plate. Another big swing, but another miss. That's going to be another strike for Crystal Kemp. Brevard hitters haven't been able to quite figure out Crystal in the early going of game number 2. Another high windup, and that's seemed to almost skim the nose of Rogers Lucky. That's going to be a ball.
Definitely spooked her a little bit.
Rogers Lucky connects with that one, but that's going to sail behind the fence for a foul ball. As we've seen tons of those this afternoon in both this game and game number 1. Crystal's next pitch is another inside and high pitch. That's going to bring the count to 2-2. So despite these consecutive outs, Brevard hitters, or there's another strikeout, 4th strikeout of the day for Crystal Kemp. As I was just about to say, they're testing her endurance, but that's no problem for Crystal Kemp. No. As she is on fire to start game number 2.
Yeah, no, 4 strikeouts, starting the game, first 2 innings. That is phenomenal by Crystal Kemp. She is definitely not letting anything get to her head, and she's going to continue to cook up these pitches.
And Nate, out of all the great hits that we've seen so far on the side of the Knights, who's one hitter that stuck out to you so far this afternoon?
Especially in the first game, I gotta say Jaquel Jones. Jaquel Jones was, I can't remember exactly quite the stats she had in the first game, but I'm pretty sure she was nearly perfect every at-bat. She at least got on base, whether it was a walk or just like a simple single. She was making sure she's consistent, and she's has had a great day so far.
Absolutely, she's certainly been on fire, just as the rest of the team has for Southern Virginia. And it looks like that's Crystal Kemp coming up to the plate. So she'll go from the circle to the plate and try to continue her hot streak of hitting this year. Leads the team with 7 home runs. Homered yesterday against Pfeiffer in the first game. There's a 3-run home run that put the Knights up 4-0 on the 12th ranked team in the country.
For the Knights, number 16, Crystal Kemp.
And we'll see what Grace Reynolds brings for Crystal Kemp at this at-bat. It was 3 up, 3 down in the first inning for the Knights, hitting-wise. And first pitch, Reynolds catches Kemp looking. 0-1 the count.
Yeah. Hopefully, after a 1-2-3 inning, they're able to fight back. You know, at least put the pitcher in some bad situations.
And Kemp swinging and a miss on the infield, and Kemp's going to advance to first base.
Just as we say that, Crystal Kemp with a single.
Michaela Morgan stretching out, almost being able to make the play and possibly get the out at first, but Crystal should take that and advances to first.
Webster.
Another strong hitter for the Knights, Addie Webster. Plays a prominent role in the infield for the Knights. And she'll see what she can muster against Reynolds here in the early going.
Yeah, the question that you asked me is definitely a hard question because I feel like the entire team all showed out last game, you know. And so, like Webster right here, she played phenomenal last game too. And so I'm sure we'll see the same kind of repeat in the second game.
Webster, a junior from Gilbert, Arizona, has played a big role in this team the past few years. And she'll take that strike. It's 2-1 the count. Tornadoes looking for their first out in the bottom of the second inning. Big windup and a big connect right to the third baseman, and they're gonna get Crystal Kemp out at first base. A great throw across the infield.
That was phenomenal play by that third baseman. Absolutely slung it over to first base. Caught Crystal Kemp out, you know. You're not expecting that. A throw across the field like that, a perfect dime to get you out. Great play by the Tornadoes.
And Gabby Hooper has had a really solid day for the Tornadoes as she snags that one, and not much that you can do on Crystal Kemp's part. It was a good connect by Takel Jones, but just a better play at third by Gabby Hooper to first. As that now brings number 15, Kraylin Guyman, back to the plate. Wind up and almost swinging that one as Guyman just barely holds up, and that's a ball.
Yeah, that was a good hold right there. She saw it coming, but she was able to catch it, you know, slightly going a little low, and decided not to swing on it, and perfect choice for her.
So Reynolds stepping in as the fourth pitcher on the day for the Tornadoes. Really solid so far, but that one chips right over her head, and a good play to first by Michaela Morgan's gonna end the second inning, and we are still scoreless at 0.
So that double play really put a wrench for the Knights, you know. They just completely caught them off guard, and after that, got the batter out and on to the third inning. It's crazy how much, how different two games can be. The first game, the Knights scored so many runs in the bottom of the first. It lengthened the first inning quite a bit, and now we're already in the top of the third.
Yep, it's a tale of two games so far. The Knights scoring 6 combined runs in the first 2 innings of game number 1 of our doubleheader, and so far scoreless. Good pitching from Grace Reynolds and good infield play has led to that. And we'll see how Crystal Kemp responds, as she's been on fire with 3 strikeouts so far today in the early going. Just facing six batters so far. It's been 3 up, 3 down for Brevard in both innings. Is now, I think, Crystal Kemp will face Gabby Hooper of Brevard, who made that stellar play at third base to first to create that double play for Brevard.
Now batting, number 22, Gabby Hooper.
So Hooper up to bat. As you mentioned earlier, she's definitely a star in the first game for the Tornadoes.
Hooper caught looking. That's 1 strike for Crystal Kemp. Hooper caught looking this time, but it's a ball to make the count 1-1.
Yeah, I've always been a fan, me personally, of kind of like, unless it's a pitch you really like, kind of just letting the first pitch come in, especially your first at bat, get a feel of the pitcher, and kind of adjust to, you know, how she pitches.
And on that one, that was a big swing by Hooper, but another strike for Crystal Kemp. She's 1 strike away from her fourth strikeout in the first 3 innings today in game number 2. Nice looking pitch that sunk right into the strike zone. That's strikeout number 4 for Crystal Kemp.
Now batting number 13, Evelise Layton.
Let's see if she continues her streak. Would love to see a record set today on strikeouts.
Seven batters faced and 4 strikeouts for Crystal Kemp. Leaving her competitors in the dust right now. And that's another strike. As she now faces Evelise Layton, who also had a pretty stellar second half to game number 1. Was part of those 4 runs that were scored. As a windup by Crystal again, and that's gonna be another strike. Layton thought about it, but held back eventually, and it's strike number 2 to make it an 0-2 count.
Crystal Kemp just consistently just ringing them up right now. Let's see if she goes for number 5 right here.
And that one's gonna connect with Layton. With all the great pitches that Crystal Kemp has thrown, she loses hold of that one and sends Layton to first base for the first walk.
That might have been a slight caster curse on my part. Probably shouldn't have said it.
Broadcaster's curse.
Jasmine West.
But nonetheless, she's had a solid start, more than solid start, spectacular really.
Yep.
But Brevard does have 1 person on base so far to start this inning. Big swing into left field. That's gonna end up a foul, I believe. No, that's gonna be fair. And Layton's gonna advance all the way to third base, along with Jasmine Webb getting to second. A really close call on the line in left field. Kayla Altry able to corral it, but not in time to prevent Layton from advancing to third base. So a great start to the 3rd inning for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, wow. That incredible hit from the freshman from Orlando. Just absolutely just rocketed that along the foul line. It was fair, and she's just been a star for the Tornadoes so far.
Let's see how Crystal can respond after a big hit of the first big hit of the day. As Kraylin Guyman corrals that one and is looking towards third to see what's happening. Layton isn't moving, and they'll send it back to Kemp to reload on this one. Connects again, that's right towards second base, right between the infielders, and that's gonna advance Layton home and give the Tornadoes their first lead of the afternoon here in game 2, and still a runner advancing towards second. That's Beth Hylett being sneaky. And the Knights lost a little bit of focus there, allowing multiple runners to advance, including Layton home, to take a 1-0 lead for the Tornadoes, with only 1 out here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, so despite Crystal Kemp's fantastic game so far, the Tornadoes are just finding a way to score some in the top of the 3rd. Catching them off guard, you know. It's a good strategy. That's how you win games.
So Carly Queen up to bat still for the Tornadoes. Let's see if she can put any more damage into this inning. As again, the Tornadoes have gained their first lead of the afternoon here in game number 2, 1-0 in the top of the 3rd inning. 1-1 the count for Crystal Kemp. Carly Queen swings and hits it into right field towards Emily Oldham. She's gonna be safe at first, and yet another run scored for the Tornadoes as they're on fire hitting here in the top of the 3rd. That'll make it 2-0 as Beth Hyatt also advances towards 3rd.
Yeah, so now we're seeing complete opposite from the first game. Brevard's taking the early lead and continue to rack on runs.
Really nicely placed hit from Carly Queen. Just wanted what they wanted to get the runner advancing towards home, and then Beth Hyatt to 3rd in prime scoring position. Next delivery from Crystal Kemp, and there's going to be a runner advancing to 2nd. That's Carly Queen, sneaky towards 2nd.
Yeah, she didn't exactly move very fast, but she was just quiet as a mouse and just kind of worked her way over there.
And recognizing that DeKel Jones and Addie Webster playing pretty far off second base. Another nice connect into center field near Ariana Primack. A third run and a fourth one as Carly Queen will score a double for Michaela Morgan, and it's quickly a 4-0 hole for the Knights. As Crystal Kim started off so strong, but real quickly here, the pressure's been put on her.
Yeah, it's a tough hole, tough spot for the Knights right now. We'll see what Crystal Kim can.
Now batting number
2 down
33,
0-4. Definitely try to get out of this inning. You know, hopefully without any more runs and focus up on the next inning.
Another high windup, and Michaela Morgan thinking about maybe going to third. But as DeKel Jones comes back towards second, she'll tag up again. Crystal Kemp in the circle. It's a 1-0 count with only one out. A lot has happened since the first out of this third inning. Brevard's unloaded for 3 solid hits and 4 runs. After a phenomenal start pitching-wise for Crystal Kemp with 4 strikeouts so far. Another good connect, and the outfielders and infielders of SVU are going to try and corral that one, but that goes outside the fence for a foul ball.
Yeah, you know the batter for the Tornadoes is definitely taking a sigh of relief after that one. She saw it fly up a little bit, praying it goes out, and luckily she got her wish this time.
And if you're Crystal Kemp, you just want to get out of this inning. She's been so strong so far. As another good connect, but DeKel Jones going to get under that one, or Addie Webster rather. And a much-needed second out for the Southern Virginia Knights.
Now batting number 16.
As they're now just 1 out away from stopping the bleeding in the top of the third inning here.
Yeah, just like you said, Crystal Kemp, all she has to do now, get out of this inning, get this one out, and hopefully batters are able to start picking it up in the bottom of the third.
And she's been so strong this year, so I'm sure she's going to be left in as they trust her to regroup and regain that form that she started out with. As she's just going through a bit of a rough patch here in this part of the batting order for the Tornadoes. Again, Michaela Morgan on second base for the Tornadoes. Another good connect into left field. That's going to foul outside the fence. But that's another thing the Tornadoes want is good connection out into left field. That's Lauren Mann. That's going to be a foul for a strike. 1-1 the count with 2 outs here in the top of the third.
And you're definitely seeing the improvements by the Tornadoes on the contact of the baseball. They're making a lot better contact, you know, swinging with a little more power it seems like. And it's just working out for them.
That one was a nice looking pitch for Crystal Kemp right down the middle for strike number 2, 1-2 count. And that's another strikeout for Crystal Kemp, a good regroup. She had to gather her thoughts there after a tough going in the middle of the top of the third inning for her 5th strikeout.
Yeah.
But she'll talk over it with her coaches and see how they can adjust next inning.
Yeah, definitely a good regroup. She's able to, you know, not let it get to her head and just kind of focus up and get out of the inning. Wonder if we'll see if the coaches decide on, you know, maybe warming up another pitcher. We see out to the side, right outside the fence, number 21, Chloe Persinger is warming up, so could see a pitch change come at the top of the 4th.
Chloe Persinger pitched a couple of innings in the first game against Pfeiffer yesterday. But again, Crystal Kemp started off so strong, and she does have 5 strikeouts through 3 innings, which is pretty impressive in and of itself. But those 4 runs put the pressure on her, and we'll see. I'd expect her to see back next inning, just since she's been so strong otherwise, but you never know. As Nate pointed out, Chloe Persinger warming up in the bullpen. As returning to the circle
Now
for the
batting for the
Tornadoes
Knights,
is
number
number 11, Grace
19,
Reynolds.
Maddie
As Maddie Christensen comes to the
Christensen.
plate for the Knights. As the Knights here in the bottom of the third have put themselves in an early 4-0 hole after doing the same to the Tornadoes last game. Scoring 9 runs in the first 3 innings. It's been a tale of 2 teams for Brevard. 1-0 the count early on for Reynolds. And Nate, what do you think the conversations are like in the dugout of Southern Virginia? I know they had a really good first game that they're feeling super comfortable with, but they get out to this early hole, and you got to wonder what the conversations are like.
Yeah, they're definitely not letting it get to them. As you can see, they're staying engaged with the game that's going on right now, not focusing on the past.
Absolutely. Knights have been a resilient bunch all season long. We'd expect nothing less than for them to keep going and chip away at this lead that they've developed for themselves.
Yeah, and if they repeat, how they did in the first game, a 4-0 lead is nothing to the Knights.
Big swing by Christensen is into left field territory, but it's going to be a foul ball. And that'll make the count 2-2. That's going to sail to the left for Grace Reynolds. 3-2 full count. Locked in a battle with Maddie Christensen. Big swing by Maddie Christensen. That's going to pop way high into left field territory, but Carly Queen's going to easily corral that one. And that'll be 1 up, 1 down for the Knights in the bottom of the third inning.
Now batting for the Knights, number 22, Katie Clater.
First base, Katie Clater up to bat.
Nice looking pitch by Reynolds that drifts to the left of Katie Clater's bat, and it'll be 0-1 early for Reynolds.
Yeah, Reynolds has been pitching really good this game so far. Let's see if the Knights can figure out her formula.
Second delivery is connected on by Katie Clater. She knows that's going to be a foul. She stays at home plate as that goes right over the right field fence in foul territory. So the count 0-2 in favor of Grace Reynolds of Brevard College. 1 gone here in the bottom of the third inning. Tornadoes lead 4-0. And Katie Clater connects again, but that's going to be another foul ball.
Those are some powerful swings she's taking right now. She definitely wants to put this deep in the outfield. I'd love to see a home run. We haven't seen one yet. Could be right here. The pitch.
Clater looks at that one sail by, and that's going to be a ball to make it 1-2 the count. Big swing by Clater and a strikeout for Grace Reynolds. Gets her swinging on that one. 2 up, 2 gone for the Knights here in the bottom of the third inning. And the Tornadoes are overflowing with confidence here, leading 4-0. A great start for them to game number 2. Is Kayla Autry, who played the second half of game number 1 in the outfield. Center field is up to bat for the Knights. And she's looking bunt early on, as the delivery Grace Reynolds, and a good connection by Kayla Autry that's going to foul into right field.
Good fake bunt right there. He caught the pitcher off guard a little bit. Bunt and 2 outs would definitely be interesting.
So Autry, just as Nate mentioned, approaching this with a bit of deception, looking bunt. See what she does here. And she's going to let that sail inside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Looking bunt again, and she does it this time, and a great bunt to first. She's going to be safe, an error, and she's going to move to second base, potentially third if she keeps going. That one sailed right by first base. Number 24, Jasmine Webb, and a great play by Kayla Autry. She went for the bunt, and an error at first base brings her all the way over to third base in prime scoring position.
Man, I don't think I've ever seen a bunt go for a triple. Have you?
I have not. I have not. It's almost similar to when Mateo Manoleleua hit her inside the park home run. It wasn't a bunt, but it was off an error in left field that time that allowed her to get all the way around. So a similar situation there. Ariana Primack, a strong swing there, trying to get Autry home, but that's going to foul for strike 1. Big swing in, Ariana Primack, and they're going to ground that to first. And the Knights are going to leave Autry on third base, unfortunately, at the end of the bottom of the third inning.
That was a good attempt by the Knights. They had Autry on third base, you know, off of a bunt, which was a great play by her. Just couldn't quite get that ball past the infield. So that ends the inning.
Exactly, so the Knights came on strong at the end of the third inning, but ultimately were not able to put a dent into the lead of the Tornadoes, but still stands at 4-0 entering the top of the fourth inning. So the Knights, who hit brilliantly all game long in game number 1, bringing them to a 9-0 lead in the third inning of game number 1, have struggled a bit hitting the ball, and despite an excellent start from Crystal Kemp, could not overcome a sluggish middle to the third inning and find themselves in a 4-0 deficit.
Yeah, so Brevard, 4 runs, 4 hits. You know, that's what you like to see if you're a Tornado fan. Is, you know, all the 4 of those runs. You know, they got. All 4 of those hits. You know, they got eventually counted as a run. And so compared to SVU, they have 2 hits so far. Just a couple under Brevard. The game is still super manageable for the Knights.
Absolutely.
Now
Certainly cannot count this
26,
Knights team out.
Serena Rogers.
They've been in situations like this before and have pulled out victories. So look for them to press hard in the second half of this game number 2.
Yeah. As you mentioned, Crystal Kemp still in the circle. Decide not to pull her out yet. Want to give her plenty of time. That's Crystal Kemp. She's a great pitcher.
Excellent.
Just because there's a couple, you know, there's one bad inning doesn't mean that, you know, she's any different than her same old Crystal Kemp.
And Tornado showing bunt. Crystal Kemp, a great pickup and throw to Dekel Jones at first base for the first out. So confident play from Crystal after a strike to start the at-bat.
Now
And
batting
she does it all
number
herself.
22, Gabby Hooper.
But to your point, Nate, she's done excellent all year long, had a great start to the game, and was the workhorse for the majority of last year. Now getting some help with Ariana Primack in the circle. Typical for first games as that one flies up. Dekel Jones is under it, and 2 up, 2 down for the Knights in the top of inning number 4. So good to see Crystal regrouping.
Now at the plate, number 13.
Getting back into that
Evelise
excellent groove that she found
Layton.
herself in early on in this game.
Definitely. 2 outs just like that. Looking for a third. Hopefully a 1-2-3 inning from him.
Nice looking strike inside. That got the batter swinging, and it's 0-1 counts. This is Gabby Hooper at the plate yet again. Done a lot of good things for the Tornadoes today. That one's high, ball 1, 1-1 the count. Big connection. That's going to outfield. Emily Oldham's under it. And that'll be 3 up, 3 down. Just what Crystal Kemp and the Knights defense needed to end the 4th inning early and get back to the plate.
Yeah, Oldham barely had to move for that one. That one basically came straight to her. So bottom of the 4th now. Down 4 runs. Knights looking to, this is where you start, you know, this is where you start focusing. Okay, we need to start getting, we need to start putting runners in scoring position, putting the pressure on the pitcher, you know, maybe stealing some bases. Just really put the pressure on the Tornadoes so that they don't, you know, they don't get too comfortable. You know, make them remember that it's only a 4-run lead.
Absolutely. And Grace Reynolds returns to the circle for the Tornadoes. And fortunately, to your point, Nate, for the Knights, they're moving into possibly the strongest part of their batting order in recent games, with JC Strumway up to bat and DeKel Jones
Leading
on
off
deck,
the inning for the Knights,
followed
number
closely by
24,
Crystal Kemp eventually.
JC Shumway.
And let's see what kind of damage that Shumway can do here in the early going of the bottom of the 4th. That first pitch from Reynolds a little bit low to the left for ball 1. Swinging is Shumway towards the left field line. That's going to be a foul to make the count 1-1.
Dugout continually to support whoever's at bat, have some fun little chances, sounds like, for each player's names.
They're certainly bringing the energy. Big windup from Reynolds. That sinks in there, but not enough for a strike. It's 2-1 the count. Again, it's Grace Reynolds in the circle. Big swing by JC Shumway. That's going to float towards Carly Queen, who makes yet another grab in left field. And that's going to be 1 up, 1 down for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, you begin to wonder
for the Knights,
when the fatigue
20,
starts to sit in. You know, doubleheaders aren't a very easy thing to play. And given softball, they're usually playing doubleheaders, so they're a little bit used to it. But you can still imagine there's some kind of fatigue that comes into play, especially getting late into the second match.
DeKel Jones showing bunts, but she takes that back, and that's going to be a ball early on for Grace Reynolds. DeKel Jones swinging on that one, connects a little bit. That's going to be a foul ball. Make the count 1-1. big swing by DeKel Jones. It's going to be into the left field area, but it's going to be a foul ball. So the Knights swinging hard here, but not able to come up with anything good so far against Reynolds.
Yeah,
Reynolds in the fourth inning.
Yeah, Reynolds throwing some really good pitches, getting them to swing at it a little bit late. That's why you see so many fouls like that. It's just like the pitches that she is throwing, it just kind of catches them off guard, and by the time they get comfortable in it, they're swinging too late.
And that pitch looked like it hit the edge of the bat of DeKel Jones. Almost hit her elbow, but she'll remain at the plate. Showing bunt once again. She'll track that and hit, and she's gonna sprint for first base and almost get there, but a great play on the infield. And they'll send it over to first base for the second out of the inning.
Now at the plate, number
And that brings up their heavy hitter, Crystal Kemp, leads the team in home runs on the year with 7. And they'll turn to her for answers here in the bottom of the 4th. Still scoreless are the Knights. They trailed the Tornadoes 4-0 here in game number 2 of our doubleheader this afternoon. Wind has died down a bit. The weather is great for ball. Nice looking strike down the middle for Grace Reynolds. That's an 0-1 count in her favor.
Yeah, really good fastball by Reynolds right there. I think Crystal Kemp, she definitely liked it, but just not enough to swing at it.
Swings at that one, but that's into the left, past the left field line for a foul ball. The count is 0-2, so Crystal Kemp has dug herself a bit of a hole. Brevard searching for the 3rd out to end the 4th inning. Wind up from Grace Reynolds, that's high and to the left for a ball, 1-2 the count.
See how Crystal Kemp handles this 1-2.
Good patience again, that's left for the second ball, 2-2 the count. Big connect there by Crystal Kemp. That's gonna float into right field. Just barely foul. As a Tornado, that's number 13 late, and she collides with the fence, but she seems to be okay. And Crystal Kemp will head back to the plate to continue this at bat.
It is so hard to stop when you got momentum like that.
Yeah.
Luckily she was able to slow herself down, not to hit the fence too hard.
Yeah, but it's a good effort play by Leighton. They're just there, not quite in time. Big swing again by Crystal Kemp. That's gonna sky up behind the fence. Josh Monson, our assistant athletic director, with the stellar catch. And he'll send that ball back to the ump to reload on some balls. Crystal Kemp still at the plate, locked in a battle with Reynolds. Swings on that one down the left field line. That's going to be a foul, though.
It's a good fight between Kemp and Reynolds right now. Kemp continuing to stay alive, even with 2 outs and a 2-2 count.
Good connect, and that's going to be right down the line of second base in the center field for a much-needed base hit by Crystal Kemp.
After a long fight between those two, Kemp is able to find the advantage and catches a little floater that hovers above the plate and just makes a decent connect and just gets as simple as that. And that's where it starts. That's how rallies begin. Simple sequence.
Absolutely. Crystal Kemp able to dig deep and a well-earned hit to first base. As that'll bring up the next batter to base. It's Addie Webster. Swinging on the first pitch, that's going to be a foul. 0-1 the count. As Nate mentioned earlier, the only home run we've seen is from Brevard, Southern Virginia. A zip so far in that category. You would love to see that from Addie Webster here, has one on the year so far. And she's gonna let that sink right in there for a strike. 0-2 the count. Addie Webster now puts herself in a bit of a hole as well.
Would like to see how she works this 0-2 and kind of see how Reynolds works this. Just see if she gets her to chase after something. But let's see if the Knight can be patient here.
That one's high. Good patience by Addie Webster.
Yeah.
It's a 1-2 count. Webster swings on that one. That goes down the left field line for another foul ball. 1-2 still the count. Crystal Kemp on first base. 2 gone in the bottom of the 4th inning for Southern Virginia. Very much in need of a run as they're down 4-0 to Brevard after winning the first game 11-4. Webster lets that float high with the strike zone. It's a 2-2 count now.
That's good discipline right there. Now she could have easily swung at that one. Me personally, I probably would have swung at that one.
Me too. But as Nate was saying, Webster fighting back well, just like Crystal Kemp. The delivery from Reynolds, and Webster smokes that one down the left field line yet again. 2-2 still the count.
We're seeing these good fights from the Knights, you know. I imagine they're trying to wear out the picture as much as they can because Reynolds has had an immaculate game so far. And, you know, hoping her arm gets tired and starts letting up a little bit more so that they can start slugging.
Absolutely. And as much as Brevard struggled in the first game pitching-wise, this game you could say has absolutely been flawless, just like Nate said.
It's a full count now.
Full count indeed. Webster has battled back from an 0-2 opening hole to put herself back in and give herself a chance here. As swinging down the left field line yet again. As Reynolds finds herself locked in yet another battle with a Knight batter. 3-2, full count, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning here in Buena Vista. Low delivery, and that's going to be a ball. They're going to walk Addie Webster. And again, a much needed momentum shift for the Knights possibly. As Brevard's going to talk it over. Maybe strategize a little bit. Talk to each other what they're seeing in the Knights batters. As Crystal Kemp now is on second and Addie Webster on first.
Yeah. It's a big thing for the Knights right now. They can tell that Reynolds is getting a little bit tired, and that's definitely one of the main purposes for this mound visit. You would give her a little break, you know, let her arm rest for a couple seconds more before getting into the next at-bat.
Absolutely. And now we bring Kraylin Guyman back to the plate for the Knights, number 15. Spent the majority of game number 1 behind the plate. She has also homered once this season, so let's see if she can swing for the fences. She goes out swinging, and a tough ground ball to handle, but they can get that to first base and end the 4th inning for the Tornadoes. A much needed out for Brevard to keep their 4-0 lead intact.
That was a good rally by the Knights. Just unfortunate that they couldn't get anything out of it. Let's hope they can hold up next on this defensive this next pitching stance by the Knights.
And despite those 4 runs in the middle of the 2nd or 3rd inning, I think it was the 3rd inning, the Knights, they played well defensively with Crystal Kemp's 5 strikeouts, but it's just their hot bats have cooled off here in the 2nd game.
What would you like to see the Knights do a little bit different? Maybe adjust to being down 4 runs?
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in this inning. As we were saying, the Knights have played pretty well defensively except for that 3rd inning when they allowed 4 hits and 4 runs. And so I expect Crystal Kemp to be able to pick up where she left off in the 2nd and 4th innings.
Yeah,
Now batting number 24, Jasmine
53
Webb.
pitches thus far. Definitely see how she'll be able to hold out in the top of the 5th. If she's able to get a 1, 2, 3, which would be ideal for the Knights.
Big swing on the first pitch of the inning, and Addie Webster's going to get under that one for the first out of the 5th inning. And that'll bring Beth Hyatt, the senior, up to bat. She has 1 hit and 1 RBI in her 2 at-bats so far this game. And it seemed like her at-bat a couple innings ago was the one that swung the momentum in the Tornadoes' favor. So let's see if she can continue where she left off.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. She has an RBI for this game so far, and she was just one of the pieces of the dominoes in the 3rd inning that led them to go up 4-0.
Again, Crystal Kemp with her 55th pitch of game number 2. Despite those 4 runs in the 3rd, she's done exceptional here with 5 strikeouts. But trying to hold off the Tornadoes' offense to get the Knights back to the plate. Swinging is high, that's in the feet, in the dirt. And she's going to come back to continue her at bat. And looks like the umpires are going to talk this over. And it looks like they come upon the same agreement fairly quickly. And the count is 1-2 for Crystal Kemp. 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. And a swing on the outside pitch. It makes it 1-2 in Crystal Kemp's favor still.
Yeah, now as you see the clouds are starting to roll in a little bit, giving the players a little bit of shade, keep them from the heat that they've been enduring all day. Definitely feels good, and hopefully maybe that'll lead a good resurgence for the Knights.
Another good connection by Beth Hyatt. Addie Webster is on it. Great throw to first base of Katie Clater. And that'll be the 2nd out of the top of the 5th inning.
Beautiful play by the Knights. That is textbook right there.
Now batting
That's
number
something
4,
you practice
Carly
every day.
Queen.
You know, those textbook plays. You know, it's 6-3, I believe.
Big wind up, and that's a little high for Crystal Kemp to count 1-0. As Carly Queen is up to the bat yet again for the Tornadoes. She also with 1 hit and 1 RBI. The sophomore from Mocksville, North Carolina, just outside of Winston-Salem. swinging right between DeKella Jones and Addie Webster. That's going to be a base hit for Carly Queen. A nice connection for her second hit of game number 2.
Now at the plate, number 14, Michaela Morgan.
Yeah, that was a solid hit, solid play for the Tornadoes, and see if they can continue to swing like that.
And just like that with a runner on base, that brings up the heavy hitter of Brevard, Michaela Morgan. Crystal Kemp tosses that one inside. First ball number 1 of the at-bat, 1-0 the count. Second pitch of the at-bat, and Michaela Morgan smokes that. That's going to be a 2-run home run for Brevard to make it 6-0. Tornadoes smoking that one into left field just like last game when she did that. That's 2 home runs on the day for her, putting her total on the season to 4, as she's been a thorn in the side for the Knights so far today, and puts the Knights even in an even bigger hole to climb out of. 6-0 here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, that's hard to see if you're a Knight, you know, letting up a 2-run bomb like that, but
Pitching change for the
that was
Knights.
just straight up.
Now in the circle, number
Straight up good
21,
play.
Chloe Persinger.
And just like you pointed out, Nate, Chloe Persinger, who was in the bullpen after the 3rd inning. Took a couple more innings, but she's now in the circle for the Knights, trying to change the momentum.
Yeah, after a 2-run bomb like that, you know, it's definitely a good idea to bring in someone new. You know, Crystal Kemp, she threw some really good pitches. Just her arm got tired over it. I think she threw about like 65 pitches. Let's see. She threw a lot of pitches though, and her arm definitely got tired, and sometimes that's just the result right there.
After a really strong showing offensive-wise and on defense, the Knights find themselves in a big 6-0 hole in a game they really want to win. After really strong showings against William and Peace and Pfeiffer, they handled themselves well in the first game, but are going to have to find a way to crawl back in this one here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah. You see some clouds rolling in too, sprinkling just a tiny bit. We'll see how that affects any game if it decides to come down any harder.
Good connection on that one, but that's going to hit the fence behind home plate for another foul ball. Chloe Persinger, number 21 for the Knights, in the circle. Pitched a couple of innings in game 1 yesterday against Pfeiffer with a strikeout or 2. That one inside for a ball. Make it 1-1 the count. And another connection. Great play by J.C. Shumway at third base to snag that one. And a much needed end to the top of the 5th for the Knights as it starts to drizzle here. And the UM's making a ruling here. We're not sure. And with rain, we're going to have to. And unfortunately, as the rain starts to come down a bit harder with no protection over equipment, we're going to have to wrap up the broadcast. And you're able to follow the live stats of game number 2 against Brevard here in Buena Vista. And we're sorry for any inconvenience, and I hope you have a pleasant afternoon.
Go Knights.
Hey, we talked too soon, didn't we?
16, Lauren Mann. Now batting number 26, Serena Rogers.